Well, good evening, everyone. It is Dr. Jacqueline King, the CEO and founder of Black Women Empowered. And I am so excited tonight. We are back. She's back.
I'm back.
She is back. And we are excited. Melinda's family now. So look, you never know when you're going to see her. But
Just pop up on your screen. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
right. So, Melinda, gosh, it's been a while, but
Yeah.
you look fabulous as always, and you
Thank
have
you.
a lot of stuff going on. You went to the Essence Festival. Let's before we get because I got a lot that I want to ask about. How was that, and what is it that you were doing? I know you said you were working, but it looked like it was so much fun.
Yeah, well, that's what work is supposed to be. So much fun. That's what I decided years ago, right?
Yeah.
um, Essence Festival of Culture, as it has been rebranded, was it literally it was magical. Okay, and I will tell you that from the moment even before I left California, it started off magical. But as I was on my flight, we were coming near to New Orleans, right? And you know how the pilot says, "Oh, we've begun our descent," and the flight attendants will be preparing the cabin for arrival.
Mm-hmm.
I opened up my window shade and I looked out the window and I saw a rainbow, like
Mm.
we're flying over a rainbow.
Wow, how nice is that?
I got excited because I said, "Oh, this is going to be this trip is going to be magical." Like there's the
Love.
sun. And it was, I mean, obviously, when you are on the ground, especially New Orleans. I mean, New Orleans is it's a magical place anyway, right? It is just full of energy and music and culture. It's just rich and food, right? But Essence Festival specifically is like it's like a it's black lady convention.
Mm.
And and so and this particular year, since it's the first year back after the pandemic, following not being outside, it felt particularly special because there definitely seemed to be more of a sense of purpose. People seem to be moving with more of a sense of purpose, and then also moving in a way that you felt the sisterhood energy
Mm.
everywhere you went. People were happy, and I think what the pandemic years have taught us is to be more mindful, more grateful, just kind of more everything that is more positive.
Mhm,
And
mhm, mhm.
so I think for that reason, it was the energy of it was amplified.
Yeah, I think, don't you think that, I mean, the pandemic really strengthened the sisterhood? Don't you think we got a greater appreciation for each other during that the time that we just really couldn't connect like we used to?
I say yes. Definitely, we have a greater appreciation for each other, absolutely, but also our responsibility to our community, to our families first, to our communities, and then our place or our the power that we hold, the position that we hold in the world. I think there was some inner wisdom that was imparted um, on all of us
Mhm.
during that time and continues to be. Because it forced us to go within, right? It forced us to um, ha- gain a better understanding of what's really going on in the world. How much control do I really have? And how much do I want to have over
Mhm.
my family, my community, and what position do I want to take in this world? So I believe so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, the old cliche, life is short, man. It really came home, didn't it? Because I mean, we lost so many people, and so many people unnecessarily. Before, let me take a pause because I know everyone knows you, but I really didn't even introduce you. Melinda, if you don't know Melinda, she is so, I know everybody does. Please, and by the
No.
way, yes, they do.
Okay.
Please, all the sisters know you, okay? That's all I can
That's
say.
fair.
um, please share the broadcast. This is the lovely and talented Malinda Williams, entrepreneur, actress. She's a motivator, encourager, all of that. And you have seen her on The Wood and Daddy's Little Girls and Soul Food, and I just found out that there are so many movies on Tubi. Oh my God! Every time I turn it on, I said, Melinda, she's still doing movies, unless I don't know where these movies, but there's a bunch of them on there. And you are just so good at acting. I know you don't, I mean, that's not your main thing now, but you really are. You've got that down pat. So welcome.
Yeah.
Share the broadcast. We want the sisters to know that Melinda's here and we're excited. So back to what I was saying, it gave us a appreciation for life.
Mhm.
Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. It gave us a greater appreciation, like I said, for life, for our families, and then also for our communities. Because when you get to a place where it feels like, and I think the pandemic, this really was the case, only the strong survive, right? So you start to realize some things like, oh, I better start taking better care of myself and my family. But you also start realizing your own power and your own strength. We always knew this. We always knew we were powerful. We always knew we were resilient. We always, but it was put to the test. It has
Mm-hmm.
been being put to the test. Um, Mind you, not that it hasn't been all along,
Mm-hmm.
but in terms of the physical, the health, and what we are actually doing for ourselves, as opposed to allowing other people to tell us what is right for our health. We
Mm-hmm.
had to go within, right, to go and say, I gotta tap my intuitive powers. I gotta really start listening to my body. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
start doing some things that maybe some other groups don't have to do, because historically they haven't practiced what I've been practicing. You know what I mean? There was a lot of that sort of introspection that was happening during the pandemic. And certainly for me, and maybe I'm just speaking for myself because
No, you're dead on because you know the sad part about it is just about everything that comes along. We are the first ones to get to die, to get sick, and some of it can definitely be avoided. Like exercise and just type 2 diabetes, losing weight, exercise, eating right. I mean, let's keep it real what it is.
all of it.
My mother passed away from type 1 diabetes, so I know it firsthand. But there are things that we can do and we should be doing, and we should be encouraging each other to do it as well. Would you
Mhm.
agree?
Absolutely, and that's part of what I was working on during the literally, smack in the middle of, and in the beginning of, and probably in the 6 months leading into the pandemic, leading into 2020. I started building this business that is She's Got a Habit, and really, She's Got a Habit is a wellness focused multi-vendor marketplace, but it's a wellness focused website that really was about encouraging women to seek better lifestyles by creating good habits, and good habits, good fun habits, and one of those habits, yes, includes encouraging your sister and empowering and uplifting other women.
Yeah, let's start talking about She's Gotta Have It, because first of all, how did you come up with that, and what is your ultimate goal?
It's funny. I had a dream, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I know it sounds cliche, but I have heard that from other people when they talk about their businesses, or when they talk about that they had a dream, and I go, oh my gosh, I had the dream too. but the dream was for me. The vision was given to me because clearly they were given a different vision or a different dream. But I had a dream, and I literally popped up in the bed in the middle of the night. It was probably about 2:30, between 2:30 and 4. And I literally was sitting in my bed going, "What are you talking about? I think you have the wrong," I'm not kidding you. I was like, "I think you have the wrong
Uh-huh.
person because I
I
don't
love.
really I don't do websites. Like, that's not my thing. I'm an actor and I'm not CEO in a business." You know what I mean? Like, I was talking back. And I went back to sleep. And then it was one of those things where it kept sort of chasing you down. So I was like, all right, well, I'll start the process because I did know how to build a website. Like, I knew how to basically build a website, but I didn't know, all that this other thing would entail. But I also know that when God gives you a vision, He gives you the plan to execute.
Girl, don't get in. Don't look. Don't steal my line. Okay, go ahead.
You already know. So I said, okay, I'll go ahead and go with the hosting and get a um I'll look up the domain name, I'll do all of those things. And then when you are obedient to the call
Ah,
each day, you put your little piece in place, the next part of the plan comes.
damn, girl.
Cut to a year and a half later, I'm looking at a full blown, not just an e-commerce site, but a multi vendor marketplace site. Now, when I originally was building it, I was building it as a single site. Midway through, as I already started, opened the business, I launched it, I started seeing great success. And then I thought, wow, if I could use this platform to not only amplify my own business, but to help amplify other women's businesses, other women's stories, other women's advice and voices, that would be phenomenal. And that's when I expanded it, extended it. And we're even at this point, we're literally migrating the platform now. We had it on a smaller platform, a less featured, um, not as feature rich software, and we're now going to a larger platform. So we're expanding, we're growing, and quickly, because as you know, web when you're working with web software, when you're working with those types of the internet, they growth is exponential. So it's 2 becomes 4 becomes 8 becomes 16, like it doubles, it just keeps doubling and doubling and doubling, so it grows very quickly. And so that's what I'm finding in the business, that it's growing very quickly.
Well, another reason it's growing very quickly. First of all, I say this all the time.
Hmm.
God blesses you to be a blessing.
Yeah,
The blessings that He gives is not for you. It is to bless other. Did I just steal your line?
you did.
That's that
You
Jersey
did.
girl, you know.
It is, because I'll tell you, Queen Jacqueline, let me tell you this. This is a thing that has been, and when I say it chases me every day, I cannot walk away from this. It's not even something that's like, oh, I'll get up and work on the thing today. I am so compelled by this vision because it's not about me. You
That's right.
understand?
Mhm.
I've had a very rich experience in my life.
Yes, you
I've been very blessed. Like you said earlier, I've done lots of shows, lots of movies. I've flown in the plane, I've driven the car, I've lived in the house. You know what I mean? I've done the thing.
have. Mhm.
And so the thing, right? The success thing that everybody aspires to. And so when I really came to really understand what true happiness is, what the real meaning of being able to love unconditionally, to be
Mm.
content in your life, and to really master your own thoughts and be able to create a real reality, that's when I found happiness. And that means I can drive
Yeah.
any car I want to drive, or live in any house I want to live in. And so that's part of what I want in being able to facilitate us being happier and healthier. because it really is not. Money comes and money goes
That's right.
and money comes again. It's cyclical, it's currency. So when I teach by this example that I've been given, this, to be able to lead with this vision, I teach that you have to get to the heart of the essence. Ironically, you have to get to the essence of what it is that you are wanting. It's what I talk about in my book, The Game of Life and How to Slay It.
Mm-hmm.
And the essence of what you want is you're asking for money, but money is a limitation. What you really want is freedom, freedom from debt. What you really want is the freedom to travel anywhere in the world, the freedom to be able to sleep at night and not have to worry. Like, that's the essence of what you're asking for. And so this is part of what I'm teaching as the example at this, what I call, like, I guess it's the second stage of my life. It's like everything that I've done up until now got me here so that I could be qualified to go there.
And you're still young, so you still got a lot
Oh
to go.
yeah, it's gonna be decades long.
I absolutely love that. And I love when you did the vision board. That was powerful. That was powerful. It was so much fun. It was fun.
Talk to me about what you perceived as. I know why it's powerful. I still wake up every day and look at that same board that I created that day. But why is it powerful for you?
Yeah, are you interviewing me? No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm
no.
I'm messing with you, girl.
Yeah.
No,
I genuinely want to
yeah.
know.
So, because when it's in your face and you see it every day,
Yeah.
it reminds you, this, and also it's like confirmation. So, the Bible says, "Speak those things that be not as though they were."
Right.
So to me, that's what you're doing with your vision board. And actually this has happened for me, and I'll tell you, before even I knew what a vision board is. So I'll give you an example. Years ago, when I was working at the electric company, we both know which one it was, in New Jersey, and I was telling a friend of mine, I said, what I really want to do is I want to be able to teach young people how to navigate in corporate America, because I didn't have anyone to teach me. My parents did not work in corporate America, and corporate America is a beast if you don't know anything about it. It really is. That it will swallow you up.
Yeah, I heard.
And it's the truth. And so I actually got the job to be able to do that and go into schools and talk about how to navigate. I'm telling you, the job just fell in my lap.
Yes, it did.
So it is. You have to keep that in front of you, where you want to be. Keep reminding yourself and speaking it, and God will give you. The Bible says He will give you the desires of your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it says?
Mm-hmm. That's what it says.
Unless I'm in the wrong book.
No, you're in the right book.
So, for you to sit back and just think it's going to happen without you praying for it. And actually, what I do is I thank God in advance. I already thank you for what you've already done. I don't see it yet, but it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the vision board does for you. It keeps it in your forefront and reminds you, this is what I'm going to be. I might be here right now, but I'll be there because God said I can have it.
Amen. That's exactly right. And the one thing I loved about the Vision Board workshop event was that we all got to participate in this together. We were able to share it with one another. For me to tell, go around this it was virtual, right? So to go around this virtual room and share my dream or my vision with you women, and so that you could hold the vision also for me, right? Because where two or more are gathered, right?
Right.
So that also, I that wasn't lost on me in the power of us, sort of touching and agreeing that we could hold a vision for each other.
That's right. And it felt good because the women were so excited. They were not only excited
Yeah.
to see one another, but they were excited for one another.
Yes.
When one sister would hold up her board and talk about it, it wasn't just her excitement, it was a shared excitement, because when one of us wins, we all win.
That's right. That's right. Stop stealing my lines.
Ah! But I love that. And that's the first time I've ever done anything like that. And it was
Mhm.
just, to me, I was so amazed.
Really?
Yeah, I've never, actually, I've never had a vision board. I mean, I have in my mind where I want to go and what I pray for, but I've never put it like in front of me until then. Really. I know. And I just turned 65.
Well, what's crazy is that's the first time I ever did a vision board. But I have tons of books. I've always written down. But I didn't necessarily cut out pages and put
Right.
a visual of it. I had the visual vision in my mind, and I certainly have
Amazing.
written it down in my journals or written it down. I actually have manifestation journals, or like manifest journals, right? Where I write what I want, like over and over and over and over and over again. And
Mhm.
then I recite it. I write it, recite it, and I invite it.
I
Right?
love that. I'm still that.
Yeah, that's it. It's a chapter in my book, by the way.
Okay, yeah, so let's get
Yeah.
on to the book. So,
Yeah.
uh, start talking about the book. The name of the book is,
It's called The Game of Life and How to Slay It.
I love it. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
And
And
the and
is it already released now?
it's pre-order. You can get it on my website, IamMalindaWilliams.com. And it's going to be widely available. I would say in about 2 weeks, it'll be widely available, like Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and the rest of those larger platforms. But I like to push it from my website, clearly, because I like to have the personal relationship with the customer, and then take them on a journey of where to next. Because it's just one piece in a whole suite of tools that I want to offer. But the book is really, I call it a self-help memoir, because I include some stories and anecdotes from my own life journey, not just my career, but also my personal life, because my career has always followed my personal life, right? Like they're intertwined, they're not separate. Every
Mhm.
time and anytime you've ever seen me on the screen, you have seen a piece of me coming through, and that has always been intentional and on purpose.
Mhm.
um, and so really, so the book is really about personal power, and my stories of how I've been up, how I've been down, how I have traversed the ebbs and flows of life, and what tools and strategies I have used to get me here, and be able to continue to um, have this longevity that I have, both physically, spiritually, mentally, and then also to be able to command the life that I want, because like you said, I speak those things that aren't as though they were.
Yes.
And that strategy has been working for me, and at some point along my journey in my life, I discovered that I was like, everything that I have said has come true.
Yes. Mhm.
And so the common denominator is because I said it. And so that was the impetus for making me go, well, you better watch what you say then, because
Mhm.
then I would go back to life and death, the power of life and death are in the tongue, right?
Mhm.
And so then I created an affirmation card deck called Words That Work. And I created it for that reason, because I was going to stick specifically to the strategy of telling myself in the mirror what I wanted to see, what I wanted to be, and regardless of what was going on in the world, the messages that I was receiving, I had to always counter those messages. Well, you didn't get it this time, and oh, you're not gonna, be successful because, and oh, they don't give black women, and oh, black. No, no, no. That's not
Mhm.
going to be my story. I got
Right.
my story already written on these cards right here, and so I created it in a deck that I published, and that's the book, The Game of Life and How to Slay It, and then the cards are sort of like a little companion tool.
That's, I'm excited. I can't wait to get mine. And you're going to give your website out. Might
Yes.
as well give it out now, but we're going to give it out several times. So, what is your website?
It's IamMalindaWilliams.com. And if you purchase the card deck and the book there, they'll take you to my marketplace. You purchase them off of my marketplace. So it's, again, all my businesses, all my are related to who I am, whose I am,
Yes, girl. Yes.
and it all, it's one big ecosystem that I'm creating.
I love that. And so, I talk a lot about finding your purpose and understanding that. And so you're at a place right now, and I know that you've done a lot of stuff, but you are really in the zone now. I can
Yeah,
tell by the way you talk about what you're doing. This is your purpose
yeah.
in life. And how did you discover it? Because I do a presentation on walking in your purpose, as a matter of fact. So how did you discover your purpose?
I've always had a sense of it. I've always kind of known, and I've always been drawn to these projects that represent sisterhood, right? Three sisters on a TV show, three women who travel together, family projects. I've always been drawn to them, and mind you, sometimes people ask questions like, well, how come you didn't star in that movie, and how come you didn't play on that? And it's like, well, there's a lot of things that I said no to because that's not what I wanted to explore in my life. That's not what I wanted to expose myself to, or what I wanted to represent. No, judgment toward anyone who takes, you know like a role in a vampire movie, but that doesn't serve that doesn't serve me in any way. And so something like that, I would say, no, I'm going to pass on that. What else you got? And so when I got to this place, and it started happening around 50, I guess, when I turned 50. And I'm and
Girl,
I'm
you
and
ain't 50. No, miss.
yeah, I'm 51. But it started happening. I started realizing it prior to that, but I didn't know where it was going. Right. But around 50 is when I started getting the call to write the book. And
Mhm.
as I was writing the book, dictating the stories, I realized that everything, because I had to dig into my past. I had to go back and dig up stories. Now, I've been writing my whole life. I've got journals. I had to dig into all my journals. And when I got to digging into my journals, I realized that I've been on this path all along.
Mhm.
I realized, oh, shoot, these are all dots that connect to one another. It's like, God, and I started going, God, you've been doing this the whole time. Like, have you been setting me up for this whole time?
Absolutely,
So
yes.
every TV show, every movie, every choice that I was making was intentional to get me to this
I
place.
love it.
None of it was an accident.
Absolutely.
And so when people say, "Oh, well, why aren't you directing? Shouldn't you go for the movie for the Oscar and all of that stuff?" It's like, sure, maybe one day. But right now, that's not what I'm being told. That's not where I'm being led. I'm not getting that my whole career, those television shows and movies were bringing me here so that I could direct. That's not what I'm getting. I got that they were bringing me here so that I could build a women's empowerment network
I love it.
based on the choices that I've been making up until now. Life choices, mind you, because the career follows the life. I'm a
Absolutely.
woman, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a friend before I'm an actress.
I love that. So, what are some of the things that the women are going to get? Just a couple of tidbits that they're going to get out of the book when they buy it, because everyone's going to buy it.
Yeah. Everyone's
I'm
gonna buy
speaking
it.
that.
I spoke it already.
Okay.
Yeah, so uh, goodness gracious. When you follow someone's journey and you think you know them, like, oh, you think you know me because of the roles that I've played, or because something was written about me in a magazine, or an interview I did, right? You don't know. You have no idea. And when you read the book, you'll come to understand who I have been all along. And when you do read it, I think you'll probably get a sense of saying, you know what, I knew, because that's what I'm hearing. I knew he was like this. I knew this is you. I knew, because the work has always been internal. Always. It has always been about, how can I represent Black women, because that's who I represent. I represent women, but I represent Black women. How can I represent Black women and allow the spirit of God's blessing to come through me in my work? And for that, I have been doing internal work. I've been doing all sorts of asking, speaking, and listening. And one of the things that I talk about, it's definitely an overarching theme in the book, of not just speaking it into existence, but also asking for what it is I'm supposed to be speaking into existence. So a lot of people think, oh, I want this thing, so I'm going to ask for it. Well, for me, it's really about, well, I really want to be in alignment with
I
his
love
purpose
it.
for me, right? So I even say, all right, well, before I even ask, can you tell me what I'm supposed to ask? Like, what would you have me ask? You know what I mean? Because I want the cheat sheet. I want the cliff notes. Like, even though I don't want to, I still want to. Let me back up, because I'm talking very fast, and I may not be answering your question. When you open the book, the first thing that you'll read in the book is that finding your purpose is not an option, it is mandatory. You have to chase your purpose in whatever it is that you do. And then it goes on to give strategies for being able to uncover your purpose, getting to know yourself, and then also being able to listen. You're listening for that small voice within.
Hmm.
And for me, that small voice within has always led me down the right path. I haven't always listened. And I
Right.
offer the stories of the times that I didn't listen. And then, the butt whipping that I got as a result. And then when I turned around and then said, okay, I hear you. I'm on my knees now. I'm listening.
Right.
How, when I followed each and every instruction, I was literally led to miracles, just miracles,
Yes, girl.
miracles. And there is no other way to explain all of the things that have happened for me. Yes, I claim favor over my life, absolutely. But I think most of us do, right? We are, most of us feel we are favored, and many of us are. But when I tell you literal miracles, and I know you know what I'm talking about, Queen, because
I
they
do.
happen to you also, for you also. But when you get in alignment and you are really taking certain steps, the miracles literally happen on the other side of that door.
They really do. They do. You are amazing. I am so honored to call you my friend and my sister. Your humility is is awesome, because a lot of people in your position, and then I'm not telling you anything, that are arrogant.
Yeah, yeah.
um you know they're not really open to really giving anything back,
Mm.
And, so I just think that this is just really amazing. And you and I, every time we talk, we're so aligned with each other. It's kind of scary how aligned we are as far as our walk with God, our walk in life, how we let God order our steps. Because, the old saying is God can't order your steps if you're not willing to move your feet. Okay. Um,
This part and that part.
and a lot of people say they want to do stuff, but it takes work. I want you to talk a little bit about work and work ethics, because everybody wants a free, not everybody, a lot of people want a free ride. They just want it to drop in their laps, and
Yeah.
and they think that if they pray to God and you're not doing anything, he's just supposed to be like the genie in the bottle.
Yeah. It's so funny. I was telling my son that earlier today. My son has been working with me in my business, and he's amazing. And we also, right now we're in a season of doing better with our bodies, moving our bodies, going to the gym, working out, right? And so I'm, just kind of planting that seed, because that seed for me was planted when I was very young. I started going to the gym when I was, I don't know, maybe 17. And so I've always had that understanding of how to take care of my body, or how to, keep my body in shape and stay fit. And I was telling him this earlier. I said, listen, I said, there is no way to put in work and not see results. There's no way. There's just no way. It's some kind of physics law. It's just, it doesn't happen. I said, so when you put in work, you're going to see results. Now, if you're creating a balance, what type of balance do you want to create? Do you want to see more results? Got to put in more work. You're going to see less results. You're putting in less work. You just have to know that that's the way it works. I'm having a moment here.
Oh, girl, look, I am so familiar with that.
Oh, so that said, you yes, people want it overnight. People want it to happen tomorrow, and it doesn't. I told him this is about building. The work we put in yesterday, we're going to go in and put in some more work. These are what I call bricks. Before we know it, we're going to have a foundation. When we have the foundation, we're going to put more bricks in. We're building on that until we get our house, which is the house is the business or the body or the, whatever it is we're looking to achieve.
Mhm.
We got to put the bricks in. That is the build. You don't just, roll it out and, snap up a house like a building. That just doesn't happen. So the work is important. The ethic is, gosh, if the work is the bricks, the ethic is the cement that holds the bricks together. Like, you can't have one without the other. Otherwise, they'll just be like, yeah, you got a building, but what's holding them together?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So, I have always had an incredible work ethic, and that has been because of my parents. My parents, were the type of parents that said, when you're on time, you're late. You don't get there early. Then you get what's left. I had those types of parents who showed me the type of parents who showed me an incredible work ethic. And I have had friends in my life who I have said we can't hang out because
That's right.
influence is real. There's this phrase now that is this whole influencer culture, and it's real because we know that there are people in this society in entertainment that who are influencing young people, old people. They're influencing, right? I'm an
Mhm.
influencer, right? So how am I being responsible with my influence? And that goes both ways. You can be a bad influence on someone, you could be a good influence on someone. I have lost friends because I didn't want them to be a bad influence on me. And so that speaks to the work ethic. And that wasn't because, and I say that, Jacqueline, saying I don't drop my friends because, oh well, you're going to be an impediment to my success, so we can't be friends. It really is about understanding that how someone does anything is how they do everything. And so eventually, that ethic that you apply in your work shows up in your friendship and affects the friendship.
It does. And what people have to realize is that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Yeah.
Everyone is not supposed to go with you all the way.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And so for me, having started Black Women Empowered 10 years ago, and a lot of people love to say, oh, well, I can do that, or how did you do that? They want to know how you did it. Well, it's consistency. If I didn't do this every single day, I mean, every day, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Um, that's how you build.
Yeah.
I tell people who have the Facebook pages, I'm not a celebrity and I don't desire to be a celebrity, but the point is this: if you put a page up and you put one post there every month, what would be the reason anybody would come back?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
just think because you are you that they're just going to come. That pretty much is not going to happen.
Yeah, I have a business mentor, and one of the pieces of advice that she consistently reminds me of is that successful business owners, have one thing in common: consistency. They do the thing that they do well over and over and over and over again. Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, and then integrity. Oh my gosh. We have to touch on integrity because I see so many people taking advantage of the unknowing.
Yeah.
And, we've got to stop.
Yeah, that's a good one. Let me adjust my little lip right here, huh? That's a question I have, Jackie. That's a question. Because I really do feel like we need to do better when it comes to each other specifically. I feel like we treat others better in a lot of cases than we do ourselves, or women that look like us. We'll give them more of the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure there's a long history to it. I'm sure it's deeply rooted. I would like to unroot it. I would like to uproot it.
Absolutely.
I really would, because it's hurtful. It's hurtful because you really do. Even though you don't think so, like everybody's not my sister, it still hurts like they are. You still feel like you're being betrayed if you're being betrayed or lied to, or whatever the case, taken advantage of. You still feel like it's being done to you by a family member, or at least a distant family member, and that doesn't
Mhm.
feel good.
It doesn't. So that's one of the things that I'm absolutely sure that you and I will be working towards. Um, you know, teaching women how to respect each other
Yeah.
and even just appreciate. You may not have a need for the service that I provide, but that doesn't mean you have to tear it down. That doesn't
No.
mean you have to, be jealous or envious or whatever it is that you do. There is really enough for everyone. And if they could get it in their minds that there's God has made enough for everyone, you just have to go after it.
God has made more than enough for everyone.
Yeah.
And every my friend says, one of my friends says, look, I want my reparations now. She's like, I want mine now. um and there's more than enough. There is more than enough. And if you have the mindset that there is more than enough, then you're going to go look for it. You're going to go look for it.
Mhm.
Where is my piece? Where's my part? You go find it. You don't sit and wait for it to fall in your lap, because it doesn't fall in your lap. But you do put in work to go find your place, your position, your piece of the pie. There's a big pie. It's huge.
It's absolutely huge. I posted I love posting little short motivational clips.
Yes,
I don't
yes.
know if you see them, but I did one from Beyonce the other day. I was really, I mean, I have a relationship, a working relationship with her dad, but
Hmm.
it was so touching. She said, "We didn't grow up rich." She
Yeah,
said, "My parents worked hard.
yeah,
They put in
clearly.
the work." And by her seeing them put her and her sister Solange saw them put in the work, and you are an example to your kids, because my kids work very hard. I'm sure your son works very hard. If your kids see you working hard, that's going to come natural to them, because that's what they know.
Correct.
If you are sitting around the house eating popcorn and watching TV and got nothing to really show, that's
Yeah.
what you're going to produce.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That is true. And you're right. I don't think about it in that way, but of course that is it. Like I just told you, I get my work ethic because of what I saw.
That's right.
The example. They never said you did it. They did. Basic things like show up late and it's over. You know, but at the same time, it was more their example. Like they say, kids do what we do, not what we say. So you're absolutely right.
And I mean, you can't, I mean, when you get to hear it from Beyonce, who
Hmm.
has, I mean, she has had, I mean, that didn't, for her to be like the number one,
Everything.
that didn't, yes, that didn't come easy. She worked. And
Yeah.
I listened to her dad.
It
Her
was not
dad said,
lucky.
no, it really wasn't.
Yeah, yeah.
He said, and I asked him, I interviewed him and I asked him, did he know that she would be the most popular, girl in the world,
Yeah,
when it comes to music? He said, no. He says, we didn't push our girls.
yeah.
What we did was we let them decide what we did work, but we let them decide what they wanted to do. He said, and if they had decided they wanted to be doctors, he said by the time they graduated from college, we would have purchased the hospital. That's what he
Right,
said.
right, right.
So I mean, work ethics and integrity,
Yeah,
those are the things that you and I will be working hard on
yeah.
and talking about over and over again. I'm so excited for you and your book and your website. So now she's got a habit.
Hmm.
What now? That's tell me about that. What happens on there? I mean, tell the audience. I know what happens on there, but how can they utilize it? What can they do on there? How does it work?
Right. So we built it, and we are still building it. Obviously, like I said, we're migrating the platform. So right now, it's a blog, it's a wellness blog, and a shop site, an e-commerce site. But multiple vendors are on there selling various products from. So we have One Nest Yoga, we have Cheryl Pollitt Williamson, we have a suite of different books that people sell, that women sell on the site. I think there's one woman on there who sells accessories, and then luxury candles and body oils. Like we sell a bunch of different really amazing products from women who manufacture, source, um, uh, and sell quality goods. That's essentially what the multi-vendor marketplace part of it is about. The second part of it is a wellness blog that teaches women how to, and just offers advice, without saying so much teaching them, but offers them advice on how to, live a better, to choose better habits, mind, body, and soul, whether it's something you need for your mental wellness and self care, or something that you may need, yoga tips for doing yoga poses and keeping your body healthy.
Mhm.
Um, and then also there are business strategies because we do have entrepreneurs on
Mhm.
our platform, and that's one of the things that She's Got a Habit does. We help the women practice economic wellness through entrepreneurship, right? So if you have a small business and your small business does not have an online presence and you don't have a website, you could have a website, but maybe you don't have a website. We offer you an alternative selling platform where we basically do all the work. Everything we do is front facing. You have a storefront on she'sgotahabit.net, and then in the back end you have your own dashboard where you manage your products and fulfill and ship your orders to the customers.
Mm. That's beautiful. I am glad that there's many resources that are popping up for Black and Brown women, because the bottom line is no one's coming to save us. Uh, we cannot count on the federal government. Uh, we have to be uh, who it is we want to see.
Yeah.
That's the reality. And I was telling someone, I don't, oh, I did an interview Saturday, and I was saying, collaboration is so crucial.
Yeah.
No, they say no man is an island, no woman is an island
No.
either.
No.
We need each other.
Yes.
And so when we learn to work together as sister queens, we, there's nothing that can stop us.
That's
We could take over the whole world.
that is correct. We can take over the whole world, but I think honestly, Jackie, I have to think of it one moment at a time, right? Like one step at a time. And so when we learn to work together, we can heal our family, we can heal ourselves, and then we can heal our families, and then we can heal our communities, and then we can take over the world.
Well, yeah, the bottom line is that, I mean, there are steps. There's a process. I agree,
Yeah,
but we got to start somewhere.
that's right. That's right.
And so I say, to the queens, don't be jealous, don't be envious. Find your purpose.
Yeah.
Walk in your purpose. And if you have to reach out to someone else, if you have to go to She's Gotta Have It, if you gotta, I mean, I want everyone to buy the book. And we're going to keep on saying, actually, I'm going to post it on the broadcast when we get done. But
Okay.
there's so many ways to get to where you want to be.
Well,
um,
I say this too, and I speak to this in the book. I talk about asking to show me my purpose, to help me uncover my hidden treasure within me. I've always had these various gifts, these various skills. I feel like I could do anything, and I tell my son,
you are truly my sister.
I'm like a Renaissance woman, right? Like I really do feel like that. And I tell my son and my husband when I'm in the house and they're like, no, 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 we got it. I'm like, listen, you don't understand. You just got to let me try. Sometimes I just want to try so that I can know that I can, because that is what helps me to keep adding to my self confidence.
Hmm.
Right. So I've always had these sort of skills. And one day I asked God, I was like, God, why do I know how to do all these things?
Right.
Because I feel
All
like,
these gifts that he's giving you, they're
why,
for a reason.
what did you give me all these gifts for? Show me, uncover it for me, help lead me to the right people, lead the right people to me. That are going to help me with the larger vision and help to uncover my purpose. And one of the things that I was shown was actually that in asking for that, I was charged with helping others to uncover their purpose through uncovering their gifts. Like sometimes people know how to do these things and they don't even know that that's one of your gifts. And so when you let them know, sweetie, that's a gift. Lean into that gift. It
Yeah.
was given specially to you.
Right. And another thing that the queens have to realize is that um, nobody can steal your gift. It is yours. And even if they attempt to copy it, don't worry about it because
They
God
can't.
gave them the vision. And guess what? He may give someone else the same vision, but it's not going to work the same way.
That's correct.
So
That's
you don't
absolutely
have
correct.
to be jealous. It is not going to work the same way.
Right. No one, I always say, you know what I do really well? I do me very well. Nobody can be me. You can't be me, Jacqueline. I can't be you. And so I'm not going to try. I'm confident in knowing that I can carry out this vision. I don't even care if someone is running alongside me with
Right.
something very similar. It's not going to be the same.
It is not.
And that's how I can be very confident knowing that what I'm set to do, what I've been given to do, is going to be successful as long as I'm not looking to my left or looking to my right. No, if we were watching the track and field uh, championships, right? Is it what is it? What was it called? I guess it was the world championships, maybe. I think so. Anyway, we're watching track and fields, and my husband and I were watching these women and these men run these sprints, right? These 100-meter, 200, 400-meter sprints. And the one thing that they all had in common, the winners, was that they never look. Anytime they look back, you look to the side, it slows you down. When you got that focus and you're running and you're just looking, you got your objective, your goal in mind, which is to cross that finish line. Those are the ones who typically finished. Yes, there's some who are faster, but the one that was in the one in the lead don't look back.
You know, I just had a flashback. So in college, I took archery. You ever do archery?
Yes.
It was one of my favorite things. It takes really concentration
Yes.
to hit that bullseye.
To
You
hit
gotta
anything.
you gotta be like laser focused, right?
Yep.
And so that's life. That's how you should be. Should laser focus. Look at the bullseye, and you should be focusing on the bullseye, hitting the bullseye, not the ring outside of the ring outside of the ring outside,
Right.
but that one in the middle.
Yep. Yep.
That's my analogy of life, and you can do it. God has equipped us with everything we need to be succeed. To succeed. I actually did a flyer on that the other day,
Mhm.
um, and it actually went pretty viral. But he has given us everything. You don't. There's nothing that you don't have to reach your goal, but you will have to tap into it,
Yes.
believe it,
Yes.
pray, and let God order your steps.
That's right. But listen, you got to listen. You
Gotta
know,
listen.
there has to, again, in my book, I have a chapter on redefining the art of stillness and what it means to be able to get still, get quiet, and listen. It doesn't mean you're sitting in lotus pose, meditating, and sometimes it means that, but it doesn't always mean that, because sometimes there are moments when you're riding the train, or you're driving in the car, or you're doing a thing where those are some of the times when I've gotten the most powerful downloads, because I've learned the art of sitting still and listening. Once I've asked, I know the answer is coming, because he doesn't not answer you.
That's
Once
true.
but you have to be listening. You have to be open, and you have to know listening is an art. You have to know how to listen.
Not only that, but you have to be willing to move when he speaks.
Yes, the trust. Yeah.
So, yeah, because it's one thing to listen and then you're not willing to. I mean, you said it earlier. We've had our little whippings because because we didn't listen,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, God. I love this saying, God still speaks to those who listen.
Yes. Yes, it's true. I don't, I'm in a place in my life now where I listen to the small still voice first. I used to, question it and go, well, I'm gonna try this first, and oh, I think I've got another answer or an alternative, but it always comes back to that same answer. This was the first answer was the right answer, and so I've learned to go with the first answer, your first mind,
Hmm.
or the small still voice within that knows better than you do, and
Right.
51 years has qualified me enough and has given me enough experiences to qualify me to say that that is true.
Right. I want to thank everyone that's tuning in. And honestly, the words are so small I can't see them that good, but I know there's a Sandra and I can't see them, but we'll go back later and look at them. But we thank everyone that's
Okay.
tuned in. So Malinda, go ahead and give your information out, and again, and then I want you to give your encouragement for the queens.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I was reading the comments. Wait.
I'm glad you can see them because I
Yeah,
can't.
I
They
didn't even know they
small.
were there at first. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for your comments. I'm going to read them all after the broadcast, after the cast, but my website is iammalindawilliams.com. You can also follow me on social media, and all the links are in my bio. But it's at Malin's World on Twitter and Instagram. And the book is called The Game of Life and How to Slay It. It is currently available for pre-order, but it'll be available widely just about 2 weeks, and then and we'll be shipping in about 2 weeks as well. So I'm very excited about that because it's been a long time coming. And then I also have a little, very but small but mighty affirmation card deck called Words That Work, a self-empowerment affirmation card deck. The card deck is very small. It's 22 cards for 2022. And for me, the year 2022 was going to be the year of the double up, the year of the exponential growth, and that's what
All
the,
right.
the, the number two represents. So there's 22 affirmations in the deck, and these are affirmations that I started writing in my early 20s, when I would catch anti-black girl messaging, if you will, meaning black girls aren't as successful, there aren't enough roles, or you know what I mean. I had these affirmations that were telling me different. I was telling myself in the mirror something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So when people say, well, what's your secret? The secret is I've been doing the work all these years on self, and then putting in the work, obviously. But that's
Mm-hmm.
how I was able to, pick myself up, dust myself off, and keep it moving up.
You are truly amazing. Now, are you on LinkedIn?
I am on LinkedIn. I think on LinkedIn you can just look up my Malinda Williams, because I don't know I feel like I'm Malin's World on LinkedIn
Do
also.
you do you are you on there? You know, we have 200,000 followers on LinkedIn.
Oh, I do. I am on LinkedIn. I
Yeah,
am.
you need to follow our page because you'll be able to go on there and get the comments too. But I'm gonna
Oh, okay.
connect with
Oh,
you.
I see.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I
So
see.
we're actually streaming right now on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn all
Oh,
at the same time.
oh, thank you for all these wonderful comments. Thank you. This is amazing.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
didn't see this before.
yeah.
Okay, Jersey girl here, Brick City Orange and Maplewood.
Yeah, you know it. You know, yeah, yeah. So yeah, actually, you can go back and you can interact with them and post the links. You can actually post the links right in the comments.
Oh, I can. How do I? Let me see here.
No, you can do. I mean,
Oh,
afterwards.
oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
afterwards you
Okay,
can go back. I will add it to the page, but like if you kind of want to interact, you can.
I
Which
see.
to
Okay,
me, that means a lot to people,
this is very
to
new to
be
me.
able to touch the queen, our
Uh,
queen. You are our queen. And we thank God for you. thank you for this time. We will be, Malinda and I are getting ready to embark on another project together. I'm so excited. I'm really, God is opening up so many doors for us, and we're going to be able to empower, and empower.
Yes.
So I'm thankful for you and this time. And so you were going to give your last bit of encouragement.
Yeah, well, I want to just say this, if I can offer, if I can ask for encouragement as well, and continued support, because that is the reason we are able to go on every single day, is that somebody is benefiting, right? Someone
Mm-hmm.
is saying it's helping. And so if you could just continue to pray for us that we be blessed so that we can be a blessing. That's one thing that I would just ask for. But I would also say, you know, there is a lot going on in the world right now for all of us, and sometimes you really do have to turn within, and in turning within, I mean go to God and say, show me the people, the places, and the things that
Mm-hmm.
would have me in alignment with your power over me, your grace and your will. And then and in that there's a humble, thank you, Sandra. In that there's a humbling, right? Because people start showing up, and people start showing up, and speaking things into your life that you go on, well, how would you know? And how did you know this? And then
Mm-hmm.
you remember, oh shoot, I prayed for this. I
Yes.
prayed for someone like this. um, and so that's the encouragement. And again, this information, when I say, and I'll just say this, and I say this with all humility, the book is not about me. It is about whoever reads it. It is about you. It's for you, because I've already lived the experiences. And so really the experiences are my testimony, in that these things, speaking those things as though that weren't as though they were, works. These are my testimonies. And I just want people to, like you said earlier, Jacqueline, tap into that same power to overcome the way I have, because it's within, it's not without. You don't go within, you will go without.
You know what? I just had an idea.
Hmm.
God deals with me, when people are talking.
Hmm.
So I think what we should do is solicit those who purchase the books to come back, and let's bring them on and tell what it meant to them. How about that?
So I'm gonna share something with you, and this is my, my son is sitting right here next to me in this office, and I will say, on everything I love, this morning, Jacqueline, this morning, I was speaking to a couple of my team members, and I spoke that very thing that you said.
Look at that.
I kid you not. I said, once the first copies of these books go out, I'm going to invite everyone or I want to invite everyone who has read the book or who has purchased a copy to join me on a virtual call to speak about how it is impacting them, tell their stories. So I spoke this morning. This morning.
You know how God works.
I do. So that's what I'm telling you. So done.
Yeah, let's do that. I can't wait to hear the stories. Um, so if you get the book, so do you have an email where they can email you that they got the book, or and they
No, I
want?
see, but listen, I know everybody who gets the book. I got all the names.
Oh, and so do you get their emails?
Yeah, so that's part of why, I encourage people to go to my website,
Okay.
because once it goes widely, when it goes like on Amazon or what have you, I won't have access to the actual details of the customer. But if they purchase it directly from my website, IamMalindaWilliams.com, then I will have access to be able to email you about our events, because we also throw events. We will be having another virtual vision board workshop event in the spring, next spring. We will be doing a brunch this October. So I kind of put people on my list and let them know about all the things that we have going on for She's Got a Habit, and as it pertains to the vision board workshop and the books.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to do that, and I'm going to order mine today. Well, I'm going to pre-order. And another thing, if you
Yes.
do get it on Amazon, be sure to leave a review. People don't understand how much those reviews mean when it comes to ratings and becoming a number one bestseller.
Yeah.
Um, leave a review. Okay.
Thank you
All
for that.
right. You're welcome. I love you, girl. I do. I
I
do. I
love
do. I
you,
can't
Queen. Thank
wait to
you.
get to continue our work that God has assigned to us, and there is it's plentiful. Um, so until the next time, everyone, we thank you so much. Please, 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 please share the broadcast because there are so many women that need to hear it. We actually will be replaying it over and over again. We're still getting hits from the last one. I don't know if you know, it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on
Well,
LinkedIn, it's on Twitter.
you have to. Yeah, I have to go back and look on
I'll
the.
send it to you.
Okay. Okay.
I'll send it to you. All right. God bless everyone. Thank you. Until the next time, be blessed. And you always know that I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. God bless.
Thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye.